Hey toy fans, Kyle here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tousai Zyuoh. Now this is the mech belonging to Zyuoh, the world, and it consists of cubes 7 and 8, as well as the Rhino one, which isn't really a cube, it's just a big carrier thingy. Now this does come in so far the biggest box we've seen in all of the Zyuohger sets. So just taking a quick look at the box, we can see it's got a logo right there, DX, something right there. You've of course got Tousai, and then you've got Wild Tousai King right there, which we'll take a look at a little bit later. You got the mechs, you got all this fun stuff, more fun stuff. It's a big, good-sized box, and that's it for the packaging. And here are the goods themselves. This is DX Cube Rhino, Cube Crocodile, aka number 7, and Cube Wolf, number 8. I'm not sure why it's called Cube Rhino, because there's no really cubes to it. It just holds cubes, but that's what it's called, so we're just gonna stick with it. So we're first gonna take a look at these cubes, number 7 and number 8, sitting them next to all the other cubes, and my phone going off like a crazy maniac person. Here they all are, and you can still kind of stack them up however you want, and for some reason 8 got all the way back there. You can stack them up and do all sorts of fun stuff with them. You can make a giant pyramid with them. You can stack them all up vertically and make a giant weapon, something that I like to do. So it just, they retain the same stackable fun gimmick that they've had so far. And I'm perfectly okay with that. The more cubes, the better. Taking a look at Cube Crocodile. It's cube number 7. It's done in a very kind of a macaroni orangish yellow color. We can see right there it's got remnants of the face of a crocodile, because this can form the midsection of any of the combiners. So if you wanted to, you could just take him, stick that on. And there you've got Zyuoh King with the crocodile middle. Or if you wanted to, it's kind of funny, you flip them around, and then now you can totally give him a boner. Yeah. So to transform him into crocodile mode, you just simply want to pull these little edges down. It's similar to Shark, but it's not identical. The tail is completely different. Just take that, and then this will kind of lock into place. And there you have Cube Crocodile, and he's cute, and his mouth is open both ways. And he's got really nice green, mean-looking eyes. I dig that. I like all the detail. I love all the cube molded detail. It just looks really kind of fun, kind of nice, very simple. Next up is Cube Wolf, cube number 8. And as you can see, this can form the feet of Zyuoh Wild. And even if you wanted to, you can put Crocodile on top. And now, maybe when Condor comes out, he'll have a place to stay. And to transform into cube mode, he's very similar to Elephant in that it kind of folds sideways. But it does it just a little bit more. And then it folds completely 180 degrees, and then it locks into place back here, just like that. And then this head folds out, and there is Wolf. And I don't hate it, but it's not the best cube. It's just kind of alright. But I do like the detail. I really like the howling wolves right there. I think that's a cute little detail. I don't know why they couldn't paint this bottom part black. They probably should have, because that just looks cheap and bad. But the silver is nice, and this of course will form the head of Tousai Zyuoh. And that's it for the cubes that come in this set. Now it's time to take a look at the elephant in the room, or I should say Rhino in the room. And this is Cube Rhino, probably my least favorite part of the Zyuohger series so far, least favorite mecha, and that's just in Rhino mode. I think it gets better. It gets better later on as the combination grows. It's very simple. It rolls. Taking just a look at this front end part and putting the trailer to the back for now. It's got the 9 details. It's got the 9 and a little cube grill up front. I really like the red eyes. It looks very menacing since he does start off as a villain in the show. No paint detail. It's got little secondary wheels under here, so it rolls really nice. But my biggest complaint so far is this piece, just this piece itself, is just one hollow piece of plastic. It feels cheap. I don't like it. They could have done so much more. They could have put an electronic gimmick and made it roll. They could have put sound effects in it and like a button, but they didn't. I mean, it's just a huge piece of plastic to leave hollow without doing anything interesting with it, but that's kind of what they did. So for that, it's incredibly disappointing. I mean, even just a button that would say, "The world though," which is like my favorite sound of the freaking whole series. Love it when he says that. And he can clip into this little trailer. And the trailer itself is still kind of just nothing to write home about. Can roll on 2 wheels down here. It rolls nicely. You can attach it, make it roll as a whole. An electronic feature would have been so nice. And that's basically it. You can, if you want to, store cubes in it. And you can really store as many as you want. And just keep stacking them up. And you can literally just go on forever. And that's kind of redeeming quality of it. I've seen this comparison been made a few times, but I think it's a valid comparison. So, for a size comparison, here it is next to... Oh, God. Corrugator. The trailer itself is almost as long as Corrugator as a whole, but Corrugator has the sounds, and is a bit more hefty and a bit more heavy. But they both roll. And I'll eventually review this later, too. And that's basically it. To combine him into Tousai Zyuoh, actually, we kind of started that already. We want to remove this nose piece. We want to take his grill, and it just flips down like that. And you literally just stand him up like that. Just literally stand him up. And this piece right up here just sits on, and you take it, and it does lock into 2 places, so you really need to make sure that you get it, and then you just like make sure doubly so that it's in there, because when it's in there, it's a really firm hold. And we're almost there. Then we want to take these little parts down here, just fold them out, fold them out. We can take the nose piece, and you'll notice there's a little fist hole right there. This will form one arm. That locks into place. Then Cube Crocodile, look for the little fist hole right here. This will form the other arm. And there you go. Then you want to take Cube Wolf, and you'll notice on the top, you've got 1, 8, and 6, and this is actually telling you where to connect each cube in the various modes, which is super helpful. So 8 stores right in the middle. You take it and you flip his head down, and there you've got Tousai Zyuoh in his Tousai Zyuoh mode. And he's okay. He is extremely brickish, though he does have arm articulation. You can rotate this arm and rotate this arm. It looks and feels very incomplete, and that's because it is. I feel like this is just a midway point for the wild Tousai King combination that comes up next. It's okay, I don't hate it, but I certainly won't display it in this mode. I would rather just have the carrier mode, or just in it in its big final combination. Yeah, it's just brickish, very brickish. For a size comparison, here he is next to Zyuoh King, and he just stands just a bit taller. A lot wider. A whole lot wider. And for another combination, because this Zord really reminded me of it, here is a look next to Hyper Resha. Because this one is also black with lots of gold detail. And just seeing this and the whole front end and the way it's just a big brick, it just reminded me of Hyper Resha. I haven't reviewed Hyper Resha yet because I haven't gotten all the little individual things that can form its big final combination and all that crap. But there it is. And it's an okay mode. But I feel like the reason that you would get this is to form the final wild Tousai Zyuoh King combination, which is my personal favorite, and is so far the most redeeming thing of all the Zyuohger toys so far. So to form wild Tousai Zyuoh, let's take out all of the cubes, literally everything, and we are going to just build onto this monstrosity. So we want to remove this. And we want to remove this. And this will form the other fist. And you'll look for it, and we'll find it eventually. There's another fist hole right there. Let's take it, slap it on. Then you want to take cubes 6 and cubes 1, and again you'll notice there's a slot back here for 6. And it literally just slots into place and locks into place. And you take a 1, and there's a spot for 1, and again, locks into place. Really nice. Then you want to take the feet, cubes number 3 and cubes number 4, and these will become the feet of Tousai, of Wild Tousai King. So you just take it, and it does just sit right on these cubes. And you can see we've gained quite a bit of height here. Lastly, we want to take cubes 5, and here we go. Cubes 5 and cubes 2. 5 goes right here, and 2 goes right here. And then we want to take the nose piece of Rhino, and look on the back, he's got this mean-looking head with a gnarly-looking handlebar mustache. And that just fits right here onto the top of cube 6. And there it is. Oops. Then you want to fold his arm up, and you'll take the king sword right here, and this just actually slots down here. It just kind of slides into place and becomes like a dagger, or like the arm gauntlet in Assassin's Creed that pops out. And it barely doesn't hit the floor. Barely. And then you want to take the gun that belongs to Cube Gorilla and just fold it out. And then take this, and this just slots into place. I think I have it backwards, actually. Slots into place. And you'll notice right here, there's a little peg piece. And that peg piece does attach right into there. Just like that. And now he's armed with a giant cannon and a giant spike. But we're not done yet. Then you want to take these little cube animals that we have so far. We are missing one. Cube Komori has not come out yet. Cube Kuma just locks right here. Cube Kirin just locks right there. And Cube Mogra locks in right there. And then when Cube Komori comes out, it'll just lock into place right there. But there he is, this monstrosity, and he is very impressive to look at, and probably my favorite thing of Zyuohger. I feel like all of the Sentai DX toys so far for Zyuohger have just kind of been at best. And it isn't until you see this you realize, wow, this is friggin' awesome. I love it. So for articulation, his arm can just spin around like that. And this arm can do the same thing. And that is essentially it. And for one final size comparison, we're going to bring out Hyperesha once again. He now stands just a tad bit taller than Hyperesha. Let's see if I can center this. There you go. And yeah, so he is now officially bigger than Hyperesha. And I do believe we are only at the midway point. So when Whale comes out, we're going to get definitely a bigger combination, which is very exciting. I have seen there are a couple different alterations you can make to the combination. I guess some people don't like the numbers. So if you wanted to, you can actually, let me see if I can do this without it falling apart. You can take the feet and turn them around. Take the feet, turn them around. And do that. And then also something that I personally like is to remove one, flip out the little eagle, and then lock them back into place. And I personally like the way this looks, just a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more interesting. You still got the numbers, you still got the cubes, and all in all, it's just a lot of fun. But that, again, is the beauty of this modular Zord system. You can do whatever you want with it, and it'll still be, you know, the same thing it is before, or if you just like the original official combinations, you know, do that. Anyway, that does it for this review of Wild Tousai King and Tousai Zyuoh. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video review. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at the TF Review, like me on Facebook, and check back because I've got a lot more reviews in the works. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.